For decades, the question of what happens to Gaza has felt completely unsolvable. But now, a new and really audacious plan has just been put on the table that wants to change everything. It's called the Charter for New Gaza. And believe me, it proposes a pretty radical new direction. So let's break it down. It's the one question that's been on everyone's mind for months, right? After all the fighting, who is actually going to run Gaza? Well, it looks like we finally have an answer. And it's coming from a place that I don't think many people saw coming. So at the heart of this new charter, you're not going to find a typical treaty or a traditional peacekeeping force. Nope. Instead, they've created a brand new international body, one that's been specifically designed to take charge of Gaza's entire post-war future. It's being called the Gaza Board of Peace, or BOP for short. And let's be clear, this isn't just some group that's going to watch from the sidelines. Its job covers everything, from the political transition and security to the absolutely massive task of reconstruction. It's basically set up to be the new central authority for Gaza. So you're probably wondering, how does a new group get this much power? Well, it's authorized by a UN Security Council Resolution 2803, which gives it that stamp of international legitimacy. But here's the really crucial part. It functions outside the usual UN system, and that's on purpose. It's a move to try and avoid all the usual political gridlock and just get on with what they're calling the Phase 2 peace plan. So whenever you have an international body with this much authority, it raises a pretty immediate question. Who exactly is running this thing? And when you see the names on the board, you start to realize, wow, this project is being driven by some very familiar and very powerful figures. Leading the whole show as chairman is U.S. President Donald Trump. And this isn't some temporary gig either. The charter actually gives him a lifetime appointment, which signals a really unprecedented, long-term American commitment to this whole project. Of course, he's not doing it alone. The day-to-day strategy is handled by an executive board. And on that board is former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair, a man with, let's say, a lot of experience and a lot of controversy when it comes to Middle East diplomacy. On that executive team, Jared Kushner. Now, his involvement is a pretty big clue. It suggests that the playbook they used for the Abraham Accords could be what they're trying to replicate here in Gaza. And U.S. Senator Marco Rubio is also a key board member. So when you put it all together, you've got this really high-profile team of Western political figures who are supposed to steer this entire thing. But this isn't just a Western-led show. To make it work, they knew they needed broad international backing, and they got it. 19 different countries have officially signed on to the plan. And the list of who signed on is really telling. You have crucial regional powers like Egypt, Jordan, and the UAE, but you also have influential Muslim-majority nations like Turkey, Pakistan, and Indonesia. This kind of broad coalition is absolutely key to the whole plan's chances of success. So we've got the leadership, we've got the international support, but how does this all actually work on the ground? The entire plan for security and just day-to-day life is built on a really clear two-part structure. They've basically split the job in two. On one side, you have the security muscle, the International Stabilization Force, or ISF. Their job is all security, patrolling Gaza, managing demilitarization, and overseeing the withdrawal of Israeli forces. Then on the other side, you have the civil administration, the NCAG, which is purely focused on restoring public services. And that huge effort is being coordinated by a Palestinian civil engineer named Dr. Ali Shah. The idea here is pretty straightforward. While the big international board in Geneva is setting the high-level strategy, the NCAG is the technocratic face of local governance. They're the ones on the ground dealing with the immediate, real-world needs of the people, from getting aid distributed to clearing rubble. But just managing the day-to-day stuff, that's only the beginning. All of this is supposed to be building towards a much larger and honestly a pretty staggering vision for the future, the creation of a new Gaza. And it's really hard to overstate just how fast all of this is moving. The charter was only officially signed on January 22nd, 2026, over in Davos. So we're talking about a plan that is literally just days old, and its international forces are already on the ground trying to manage a very, very fragile ceasefire. So what exactly is this new Gaza vision? The charter itself describes it as, and I'm quoting here, a massive real estate and development project. That phrasing tells you so much. The goal isn't just to rebuild what was lost. It's about a complete economic and physical transformation, and one that's going to be funded mostly by international investment. But look, a plan this ambitious, led by such controversial people, was never going to be accepted by everyone. From the very moment it was signed, this charter has been hit with a storm of criticism and is facing some major challenges on the ground.
The biggest, most powerful criticism is that the charter essentially creates a de facto U.S.-run occupation. Opponents are arguing that by completely sidelining the existing Palestinian authorities, the plan is just imposing an outside solution that totally ignores the principle of self-determination.
And the practical challenges are just immense. I mean, forget the politics for a second. The ceasefire itself is incredibly fragile. The ISF is walking a tightrope here, trying to secure the borders while also trying to stop new fights from breaking out between Hamas remnants and Israeli forces. So, this all brings us to the one fundamental question at the absolute heart of the Charter for New Gaza. This whole thing, led by international figures with these huge development goals, is a classic top-down approach. And it leaves us all with this final thought to chew on. Can a plan like this, designed from the top down, ever achieve a real, genuine, bottom-up peace?